I call this meeting to order. Cudahy County Council meeting November 17th, 2020 at 6 p.m. We'll begin with a public comment session. Mr. Frankie Pearson.
I'm speaking on behalf of me and no one else. I just wanted to remind you I'm still here. I'm still concerned about the police. We have lost a couple officers that I heard of here. One retired, and I'm not sure what happened to the other one, but we're down now, at that count, 107. So we're going the wrong way. We need to go the other way and get officers here and not keep losing them. I mean, retirement's one thing, but we should have a lot more officers, and I know that there's money out there that we can get officers, and anything that this council can do or will do would be deeply appreciated. Thank you very much.
Any other public comment at this time? Any written comment can be delivered to Ms. Smith, emailed or called in. Council member comments?
Chair,
Yes, Mr. Kane.
I would just like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and hope y'all stay safe and enjoy your time, and hopefully with very small gatherings with your family. It's a wonderful place where we live in a country with free elections, and I know a lot of us are hoping that all of this unrest and unsettled feelings we have about the election and all those things will soon be put to rest. But I just want to say I'm thankful that I get to serve this county and serve with these gentlemen up here and our great staff that we have that has dealt with really, really difficult conditions this year. And I just want to tell you all thank you.
We'll move into moment of silence, please. Thank you. Mr. Root?
Yes, sir. Please pray with me if you'd like to. Well, Father, this is a time, a season of Thanksgiving. So help us to have appreciative hearts, to be mindful of the things, the many things that you've given us, the many good gifts, as all gifts come from you. Thankful for the air we breathe, the food that you give us to eat, the water to drink, the fellowship we can have with one another, the business that we can do for the good of the people, and so many things. We can get lost, I know, in all of the unrest, as Mr. Kane said, and all of the problems that this world is facing right now, but we can be grateful that you're in charge, that you work all things together for good for those who love you and are called according to your purpose. And we pray that we dwell in that, we dwell in thanksgiving, and that you would take care of us as you are so much more faithful than we are. Pray that this meeting would go according to your will, and that you'd preside. And I pray in your name. Amen.
Mr. Brock, will you lead us in the pledge?
I'd be happy to, sir. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic
which stands
one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Need approval of October 2020 regular meeting minutes.
Move they be approved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any changes, amendments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ms. Brock?
I really didn't have anything, but I have something now, and it's that thankful time of year. I think I get a little mushy sometimes. Mr. Elliott sent me an email late last week saying how appreciative members of his community and his constituents were of the road department and the Arbor crew and just the general services that we provide through our public services. Mr. Kane, you and Mr. Davis and Mr. McCall, you've all thanked staff for being here tonight. Mr. McCall, you thanked Lake and his crew earlier. Mr. Hart, you have thanked me for the hard work of staff. I just want to say we appreciate your gratefulness and we appreciate the support that you provide to the county and our staff.
Indeed.
Mr. Root?
Mr. Chairman, only one matter, and I know you know about this, Proclamation 2020-11. When we get to that, we'll need a motion to postpone it so we can have a time when representatives of the high school are present.
Mr. Root, the other motion on executive session item, will we bring that up and enter an executive session?
Yes, sir. Right before we go in there, I'll frame a motion for us.
Okay. All right, so I do need a motion for Proclamation 2020-11, motion to postpone that, so the coaches can be here independently.
Make motion. Second.
Motion, second discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Proclamation 2020-10, you bring that up, because I didn't have a paper copy of that. I don't bring my iPad. State of South Carolina, County of Oconee, Proclamation 2020-10, proclamation recognizing November 16th, 2020 through November 20th, 2020 as American Education Week. Whereas American Education Week presents everyone with the opportunity to celebrate public education and honor individuals who are making a difference in ensuring that every student receives a quality education. Whereas representatives of the National Education Association and the American Legion convened in 1919 to seek ways to boost public support for education, and the conventions of both organizations adopted resolutions in support. And in 1921, the NEA Representative Assembly in Des Moines, Iowa, called for designation of 1 week each year to spotlight education. Whereas the observance of American Education Week occurred December 4th, 1921 through December 10th, 1921, and whereas public schools provide young people with the tools that they need to maintain our nation's precious values of freedom, civility, equality, and equipping young Americans both practical skills and broader intellectual abilities. Schools give them hope and access to a productive future. Whereas education employees, food service providers, teachers, bilingual family substitutes, technology team, virtual teachers, teachers' aides, school nurses, bus drivers, librarians, mental health and guidance counselors, administration team, occupational and physical therapists, bookkeepers, front office administration staff, data clerks, school resource officers work tirelessly to serve our children and communities with care and professionalism. Whereas schools bring together adults and children, educators and volunteers, business leaders, and elected officials in a common enterprise. Now therefore, we, the Oconee County Council, do hereby recognize and proclaim November 16th, 2020 through November 2020 as American Education Week in Oconee County, South Carolina, approved and adopted the 17th day of November 2020. Do I have a motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And we do have Mr. Steve Lynn. Council wants to come down there, we can take a picture.
How you doing?
Let me know. I would never have a school nurse. Really, they're on the front line.
No, exactly. I mean,
Appreciate all y'all doing. People on the front line doing a lot of hard work. Always smiling when I.
Say cheese.
Roper.
What did you say? We're good. Got it.
Appreciate it.
And I just want to thank you all on behalf of the school district and our over 1,500 employees for your support and what you do for us every year and on a daily basis. We're very thankful to have a supportive county council.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
Work with you on them.
Photographer. He took pictures at school. You know what he's saying? What's he say? Okay, worry everything. Say, she'll get over it.
Yeah, we'll do that next time.
hearings, no third readings. We have second reading following ordinance 2020-20, ordinance authorizing execution and delivery of an amended interstated fee in lieu of tax agreement between Oconee County, South Carolina and BASF Corporation, granting special source credit and other matters related thereto, including without limitation payment in fee in lieu of tax. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Second.
No motion, a second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. First reading of following ordinance 2020-21, ordinance authorizing and approving the development of a new joint county industrial and business park called Friendship Court property pursuant to section 4-1-170 of the Code of Laws of South Carolina 1976 as amended, in conjunction with Anderson County, the park, such park to be geographically located in Anderson County, and to include the aforementioned project. 2, the execution and delivery of a written park agreement with Anderson County as to the requirement of payments in fee in lieu of tax with respect to the park property and the sharing of revenues and the expenses of the park. And 3, the distribution of revenues from the park to the counties and relevant taxing entities. And 4, other matters related thereto. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just want to make clear that Oconee County is not investing in Anderson County. Oftentimes we have, every once in a while, we have one of these, it'll come up and someone will call or email me and say, hey, why are we investing in Oconee County or in Anderson County? This is just what the state law requires, the multi-county industrial parks. Anderson County is sharing their fee revenue with Oconee County, so
The 1%.
we'll take more, but.
We'll take more.
but we're only
The
getting
requirement's
1%.
1%. Sometimes we get 1% from Pickens, sometimes we get 1% from Anderson County, and we also have to give 1% to the other counties as well.
And we do very much appreciate Anderson County thinking of it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They do not have to think of us. It just has to be a siding county, correct?
Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
thought. So thank you to our friends at Anderson County for the 1%. All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. First and final reading, following resolutions. Resolution 2020-8, resolution authorizing execution, delivery of an easement agreement with the United States Department of the Army, Secretary of the Army for the public road or street located on the Hartwell Lake Project easement doc W21-2-20-0049. Motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. All right, got a few action items. Change order number 1, PO 53362, solid waste for $33,062. It's staff's recommendation, the council, 1, approve change order number 1 to PO 53362 in the amount of $13,062, which brings the purchase order to $106,912.05. And 2, authorize the county administrator to approve additional changes and/or additional documentation required after DHEC review up to $20,000. This is for our solid waste engineering. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Change order number 2 for PO 54032 for economic development, the amount of $55,214.28. This is for the Seneca Rail Park. Rail Park, is staff's recommendation that council approve change order number 2, PO number 54032 in the amount of $55,214.28, making the total purchase order in the amount of $68,565.53. Just as a breakdown, and the change order, this is an additional 45-foot of 10-inch DIP gravity sewer, reduction for 3 12-inch gate valves, the addition of 3 8-inch gate valves, and an additional 325.77 CY trench rock removal. And there was a remaining contingency left from the prior change of $506, just to spell that out. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. McCall?
We wanna caution everybody. Anytime you start putting smaller stuff in, going from a 12-inch valve to an 8-inch valve, we gonna run into the same problem. Y'all weren't on council then. That's happened out at the, technology park on Highway 11. I said, well, y'all got the ditch open. I told Corbell, Dexter, the rest of them. You got the ditch open, why not just put big pipe in the ditch? Oh, we don't need it, we don't need it. Now we got a problem out there. Capacity, we don't have it. Got it on the road. I just want to raise a word of caution. If you're gonna put pipe, the labor in putting pipe in the ground is opening the trench and the engineering work. After that, the cost of the pipe is minuscule compared to the rest of the project. I just want to leave you with that thought.
I guess my question to that, Mr. McCall, just in looking at what you see, so the reduction for the 312-inch saves us $8,000. So would it be, I guess my question is, I don't put in pipes and sewer pipes. Would it be, you can make an amendment to the motion to state that, I don't know if so I see a 10-inch gravity sewer and 8-inch gate valves. Again, I don't know enough about valves, but if you so wanted to, you could make that motion, and I would be willing to look at that and be a $8,000 contingency to that. Would that be
Actually, and I'm not the engineer of record here, I'm basing this on going over the document several times and reviewing this. The reason that the diameter of the pipe is shrinking is because the amount of rock that needs to be removed from the trenching. It's the limitations of the ground that you're working in, not an engineering source.
What kind of,
If you read your backup materials, you'll see on the second page of the change order, the entire description
yes,
for that.
but why,
If you want me to read those out loud, and you can go down each one of the points and rebut them.
remove it, well, it don't bother me, but if you're gonna, remove it rock, well, you've already made the shot, you've already shot the rock, so then
This
you're
is
gonna
not a
dig it
quarry,
out.
sir, this is a trenching machine. So it says here that this is based on the recommendation from the City of Seneca and the Sewer Authority, neither of which, we don't operate or own the sewer or water.
All I'm doing is
Basing that on the
raising the word of caution.
recommendations. I certainly don't have any issue with us having any contingencies and talking to them about it, but I really don't know why, I just read what I read here.
if we elect to approve and it approves tonight as stated in here, we can bring this back forth in the December 1st meeting after a meeting if you bring up those concerns that Mr. McCall is addressing from council.
Absolutely, absolutely we can.
Because you're not talking about, what, you talk about 3,000?
8,000, well, the reduction for 12-inch gate valves.
Then you
8,000.
buy the 8-inch,
I took the podium,
so
sorry.
you got 5,600 for an 8-inch. So you talking
I'm sorry.
about $2,500.
Hold on one second, now we have Mrs. Caggiano, who may be my after-the-fact filter, which I love people that can be an after-the-fact filter.
So just to talk about our engineer record on this one, so it's GMC that has helped us monitor this construction progress, and they're also the engineer record for the sewer authority and are very well aware of some of the issues that we have at OITP. So I really hope that they would not recommend something that would create the same problem that we're having at OITP right now. But this was their recommendation, and we felt like it was a good one, especially for the amount of rock that we encountered that we completely did not expect. Off-site, luckily, not within Seneca Rail Park, and some of the property leading up to Seneca Rail Park. But I just wanted to make that statement.
Okay.
Would you like me to get a letter from them kind of explaining it to bring back, Mr. McCall, so that we could have a better understanding?
Look, it doesn't bother me. I just wanted to see us paint ourselves into a corner. As she
Right.
just stated, we got it down on 11.
Well, they appear to be aware of the issues on 11. I'm glad you mentioned that. I wasn't sure if it was the same engineering firm or not. I
We got a
know that
motion
it
and a
said due
second.
to the recommendation from the sewer authority and the city of Seneca. And I mean, these are connecting to their infrastructures, not ours.
Motion and a second, just bring back just our concerns from there, and I think everything's fine with that. If we choose to make that, we can, if we
Sure.
need to, we can bring that back up in December meeting, so,
Okay.
we got
I don't mind
2
doing that
weeks,
at all.
so we got a week to, a couple of days, so
That's fine.
With that.
No problem at all.
all right. Any other conversations on that? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, all right. Do we have a purchase for a John Deere 2018 John Deere 1050K crawler dozer due to the landscape going vertical, pushing waste uphill, very tenuous and stressful, and the landfill compactors are designed to spread and compact waste, but not push waste uphill for long distances. Past several years, the landfill has started receiving extreme amounts of waste, much of which is large and bulky, such as tree stumps. The dozer is designed to push very heavy loads and will extend the life of the compactor. The total price on that, solid waste is currently renting a piece of equipment from Flint Equipment, and that is $70,000, which is applied to the purchase. John Deere Financial has offered the option to lease this equipment at a 1.45 interest rate. John Deere Financial will lease the equipment, and Flint Equipment Company will service the equipment for a warranty work required. 2 payments to John Deere Financial and $1.05 buyout at the end of the lease. It's staff's recommendation that council, 1, approve the lease purchase of a 2018 John Deere 1050K crawler dozer from John Deere Financial in the amount of $627,401.50, which includes the equipment price, $579,176.40, sales tax of $35,513.29, and interest of $12,711.81. And 2, authorize the county administrator to execute the lease purchase agreement substantially in the same form as attached hereto, or such material changes as benefit the county upon the advice of the county attorney, along with such other documents necessary to effect this purchase. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Hart?
I looked on the machinery trader, and they have this same dozer in there for $200,000 less than the price that we're quoted. Now, I don't know what kind of package it is that we have to have in the landfill, but I look at $200,000 as tearing down, the Fairplay School or building another, community fire department somewhere. And I just don't think we need to throw that kind of money away.
If I may,
Chair.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
Mr.
Ms. Brown?
McCall, I believe, had a comment as well, though.
I've been dealing with equipment all my life. This is personal, my experience. John Deere, and you ask Randy Cobb, anybody out there, David Hubbard, John Deere is notorious, and I repeat, notorious, when you try to get repair parts. Oh, we don't support that. Oh, that was changed. That was made at a different plant, and we closed that plant. Especially with their bulldozers and their excavators. I think we would be better to look at Komatsu, Caterpillar, any of those people that is consistent with the repair part, the chain of support that you can get with parts. Once again, word of caution, I wouldn't do it.
In our procurement, what they're looking at all different kinds of equipment based on the specs needed at the landfill.
Correct.
I know it's kind of the same way I can get online and look at a truck online and it's $10,000 less, and then when I go to pick it up or actually see the piece of equipment, it doesn't have ABC. And I gotta have ABC to run that piece of equipment. So I don't, I understand the concern with the 200,000, but I don't think there's any way to state that something that we see online is comparative to what I have here. I don't think John Deere's ripping us off $200,000. And I agree with making sure that we've looked at all equipment to make sure that it's the right piece of equipment that is needed for us and designed for what we need it to be. Did this come through our procurement department
Yes, sir, it
as
did.
well as solid waste being
Yes, sir.
on board
And vehicle maintenance.
and vehicle maintenance?
Yes, and if I may, I'd really like to thank Mr. Hart, because at least he contacted me yesterday, and we actually spent the better part of 6 or 7 hours researching the piece of equipment that he had found online. And I think it's great that we look for things that we find online. And he even told me, and I hope you don't mind me ad-libbing what you said, Mr. Hart, I don't know if it's apples to apples, but at least look at it and make sure that we're not missing out on saving this money. So that's exactly what we did. Me and several people at Vehicle Maintenance, we actually spent most of the day yesterday researching this, and not just that one, we thought, you know what, let's go ahead and look at all of them. The kicker is, in 2020, it's very hard to find a landfill package anywhere, because we aren't the only ones that are living in a pandemic during times where people are spending more time at home and getting rid of more waste. We are regionally in an area where landfill uses is extremely high, and of course, you know, a year and a half ago, we could have custom ordered a piece of equipment and had it delivered within 6 to 10 weeks. We can order a piece of equipment now and anticipate delivery sometime in 2022. You heard 2022. The carriage style on this type of piece of equipment has it's called a garbage package or a garbage push. It has a large steel plate protective layer. And as you all know, if any of you have been to the landfill from the tornado debris, some of the stumps and the size of the debris that we're taking in has created a challenge. One of the other things I do want to outline is 4 meetings ago or 3 meetings ago, I'm sorry I don't have the date on my hand, is that we brought to you and asked you to table the CAT 973 that we thought we would need for the landfill. After looking at the limitations of the vertical force that we're having to utilize on a daily basis, the CAT loader just cannot perform in the same way that the John Deere does. Mr. McCullough had not heard any of the issues with parts or anything, but that's a part of what we're paying for here, is the warranty. And we do get the warranty for a 5-year period on this.
That was my question. So it's a 5-year warranty
Yes, sir.
based on what that is, serviced from Flint Equipment, that
Yes,
we've worked with several times in the past.
yes.
And have we had any issues with Flint?
Not that I'm aware of. Is Diane still here? Okay. None that we know of.
Mr. Chair, are we paying for this package?
I'm
That
sorry.
53,000, is that 53,000, is that not to pay for this 5-year package?
For the warranty? Correct.
For the service or
Yes,
replacing the parts or
Yes.
what happens?
absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. I failed to mention that.
So with the package, no matter what goes wrong, they go fix it.
I think it's a limited liability warranty. It's probably a better question for Mr. Root, because I have a feeling if there was any neglect or misuse on our part, then probably
No, I'm
not.
talking about if you get stranded with some odd parts.
Yes, sir, I believe it is covered.
You're speaking to a different issue than what the warranty says. I mean, the warranty is going to say we're going to do X if X fails, if it's not a user error. You're talking about, are they actually going to be there to back up their
Yes.
warranty? And that, can't speak to that. We haven't had problems with them in the past. I think they've been out there to the site on this piece of equipment to fix something already, if I'm not incorrect.
Even 2 weeks ago, last week? Last week, yes.
So they've been responsive.
So far, we have not had any issues with response. And we do own other pieces of John Deere equipment throughout the county that we haven't had any.
The tractors, you don't have any trouble. They never should have gotten the bulldozer business to start with.
Okay.
So we're clear that the one that you're looking at and the one that we're buying, the reason why there's $200,000 difference is because this one's designed for landfill and we don't know what that one is. Is that, but you researched the one that he gave, that he's talking about
Yes,
tonight?
yes.
And it did not meet the specs.
Well, and the undercarriage on this one is not what we need. We would have to do the undercarriage modification, and we did get a quote to add that.
But, come on, that's fine.
Come on, Dwayne.
You're
State
talking
your
about
name.
low ground pressure undercarriage?
I'm not sure, Mr. McCall, I don't work in vehicle maintenance, but if you ask Dwayne, I hope he can help you on that. I'm sorry, I don't know the
The one
answer.
that we looked at yesterday, we researched a little bit, the one that was $200,000 less. Where it was located at was the lower part of Florida, along the coastline. And the biggest concern for me that showed up was it being in a salty, sandy environment. Talking to some of the people that I know with John Deere in different spots, they all tell me the same thing, even with Caterpillar. If you get anything in a sandy or salty environment, most of the time your undercarriages only last around 2,500 hours to 3,000 hours, give or take, depending on where the location of that is. As we all know, salt especially loves to eat metal around them areas. And that's the issue that they've run into, Cat along with John Deere, is eating seals out around the final drives and also eating the carriage out as far as your rollers and the tracks.
Yeah, I know all about it. I'm from down there. I know all about it. It's salts. You
The-
don't never buy a machine from down there.
The big concern that we looked at was that one. First, it showed no pictures online that we could find, that I could personally find, and also it had 1,100 hours on it, 1,098. If I remember correctly.
Yep, 1,098, good call.
So you feel comfortable with John Deere?
Yes, sir, I do. I've actually been working with Flint a lot. We've owned a few other pieces of equipment. Now, this is the first John Deere dozer. Everything that I have with them seems to be right on key. They come up whenever we call, usually that day or the next. They're right on scene with us.
All right.
And just stating, our procurement director is quarantining at home, which she would normally be here otherwise. But I would like to say that she did send a text, and I quote, "Procurement has not had any department complaints on Flint or John Deere," unquote.
Mr. Swain?
Yeah, and dealing with Flint, as we discussed this, under this warranty, if the machine goes down and it's something that's gonna last an extended period of time, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they will bring a comparable machine up to run while at no charge, I believe, instead. Under this warranty, you keep us up and running as long until they get the other machine fixed and brought back. Anderson County purchased their first 1050 back in, I think, 2015, 2016. They've had good service out of it. They purchased a second one in 2018. They run a LCD landfill, which is just land clearing debris, and then they also have a C&D. They run both of them simultaneously with just these machines now, so. Plus with this machine, it weighs 90,000 pounds. It actually weighs more than our compactor. So if our compactor goes down, it can just still do the same, get the same compaction or even better with it while we're using it too as well.
You run standard tracks or wide, or low pressure, low ground pressure tracks?
These are standard,
Standard?
yes.
Yes. I knew I didn't know the answer to that one. I'm like, I don't know. Thank
Any
you.
other questions? I'm grateful for the research and involving staff through that. I know
And we're
sometimes we,
grateful for the used equipment to be brought to our attention. I mean, it never hurts to uncover another stone. Never hurts to uncover another stone.
and I just want people to be aware of how much research goes in
Yes.
to the things before they ever come to council through staff, through procurement. We get the chance to review them and make recommendations as what came forward tonight. So any other discussion? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you so much.
We have no board and commission appointments tonight. I know we got some things coming through in January, so most of those are kind of hanging out till there. Before we go into executive session, I would like to make a motion to allow Councilman-elect Matthew Durham, who's here tonight, to enter an executive session. And to complete that motion, Mr. Reed, if you will.
You can just tag that, I'll just read out a whole motion.
Perfect.
The motion would be for council to convene an executive session for the following purposes. One, receive legal advice and discuss a personnel matter, as well as related potential litigation issues, all regarding Oconee County Emergency Services and associated entities. Two, receive legal advice and discuss a contractual matter related to the rock quarry. Three, discussion regarding the economic development matter, Project RISE. And four, discussion regarding an economic development matter, Project ED. And as a tag on to that motion would be to invite Councilman-elect Matthew Durham to attend the discussion on items 2, 3, and 4, not including any legal discussion, as he's not sworn in to take the office yet, so we want to preserve the attorney-client privilege. He has a confidentiality agreement, and the county will benefit by him obtaining this knowledge so he can hit the ground running.
Okay. Need a motion and a
So
second.
moved.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.